Hi, today we thought we'd talk about insecurities. Yes, even me and Selena, at our age, still have insecurities. I think most of us do, especially women. And I don't know why. Probably because we overthink everything, or I do. And we mull it over and what somebody said, what we said, where we went, what happened. We're just, everybody has insecurities. So, as we were talking about the insecurities and thinking about uh, different situations of that type of thing, we were trying to think of an example. And we all have examples. We just don't want to tell anybody. I know that I've been insecure. Now, when I was growing up, and I think anybody who's been a teenager, which would be everybody, has had insecurities. I was too tall. I had too red hair. There's always something that I didn't like about myself. And those are kind of mild, but they do affect you. And because I felt too tall, I didn't do things that should not have bothered me. But we want to get over insecurities. And so Selena, I thought, had kind of a great thing that God had shown her. And I just wanted her to tell you what that may be.
I was kind of dwelling on one of my insecurities of comparing myself to people. And I felt like I shouldn't talk about it, but I started talking about it. And then after I was talking about it, I got worse and worse. I felt worse and worse and bigger and bigger. And by the time I was home alone with God, I was going, oh, I'm just terrible. I can't quit talking about things. And I was going on, and in my mind, I said, God, can you forgive me? And when I said that, I thought of myself as kind of like a mafia or something who you can't forgive your enemies. You're going after them, and
Oh, you pictured yourself
yeah,
like this
that's
mafia
like
guy.
oh.
Yeah.
And I felt like God just kind of laughed, and He said, "You are not like that." And then He said, "And you never will be." And I said,
I love
"Oh
that.
God, that's because of you." And then he, I can't, do you remember? I went back home and I was thinking about comparing myself to people and having insecurities, and just I thought, God, are you trying to make me so that when I walk into a room, I'm so confident I just own the room? And God said, insecurities are excuses. And I felt like in my life, I mean, maybe not in everybody's life, but in my life, that applies. I don't do things because I feel like somebody else is not going to like it, or if I'm supposed to say something to somebody, I might not say it because I don't want to have their reaction to me. And it's true. I need to obey God no matter what. And we all do. But see, we're still getting over these insecurities.
I know. And it's funny how they hang on. I'm much more secure in who I am uh, from when I was a teenager, of course. Thank goodness, because that's that's such a hard period in your life, or it can be. And I just wonder if, as we go through life, how much better we would be, and how many more things we would do, how many more people we would talk to if we weren't insecure about, and I really think it's not a God thing. It's not a gift. I got the gift in insecurity. It is a negative hindrance, and it keeps us from doing good things, keeps us from doing God things many times. And when you use it, like I was trying to think of an excuse, because that really hit me, but I couldn't, like, insecurities are an excuse. So if you are insecure about how you look, it's an excuse not to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Maybe an excuse not to go to an event. You know, you don't want to cry in front of somebody, so you don't go to funerals. And I don't want to make a fool of myself. Well, you know, insecurities is an excuse. You're using that to, and you're not doing what God's best is. Funerals are hard, but they're not for you. They're for the people who lost their person. And I know that's hard, but how many people have lost? I'm at the age now where I've lost a few close people, my brother, my parents, and it was very nice to have somebody come and cry a little bit over my family.
Well, my insecurities have always been comparing myself to others and thinking they're better. And that's not true.
It's not.
It's just not true. And it just stops you from doing what God wants you to do.
And instead of thinking people are better, we're different. They're just different than you. Mm-hmm. You're different from them. And that's a good thing. Yeah. Who wants to be all the same?
And it's the way God made us.
Right? The only time it's good to be the same is with chocolate chip cookies. Some things are good the same. But we want variety, right? That's why we get assorted chocolates. We like to, I'm hungry, I guess. Well, we encourage you guys to try to not let your insecurities, no matter what they are, to stop you from being your best, doing your best, meeting people, getting out there and living a good life.
Know that God sees you probably way better than you ever see yourself.
Oh, that's so true.
And spending time in his presence is like, you know, he's perfect and he's doing everything for you and he loves you.
Yes, and it's not hard. It's not hard. Just sit still, be quiet, start talking to him.
And listen.
Yeah, that's my hardest part. I got the talking right down. Anyway, you all have a good week. Thanks for watching.